Hello, future bestsellers. Welcome to the live stream this morning. I am ready to get some writing done. I am like so far behind on all my projects right now. Yeah. So, how are you guys doing, my lovely and talented co-hosts?
Good. Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's good. I'm very glad that we're all here. So I guess before we get started, let's go ahead and do our intros. I'm going to start with you today, Robert. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
Well, my channel, still on hiatus, is The Story Detective, where I plan to put more things under that Sherlockian microscope eventually and break down the craft to make the viewer's journey easier. I might be working on some of that today. I'm going to be working on a profile for Reedsy, and if I get through a draft of that, then I'm going to start working on laying out some of those YouTube videos. I have about 5 laid out. I want to get 12 laid out before I start filming.
Excellent. Very nice.
Man, 12 videos ahead.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And when I get the season done, we're going to see where it goes because I'm trying some slightly different things.
Good
Cool.
for you. I love a little innovation. That's very nice. I'm very glad to hear that. Michelle, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel and what you're up to this week.
All right. My name is Michelle Schusterman. I'm a young adult and middle grade author. My channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs. And I'm working on some ghostwriting stuff and a potential middle grade proposal that an editor is interested in. So, hey.
Nice. Yay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Very nice. Well, thank you guys both for being here. As always, I'm Lisa Daly, and on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And if you're not familiar with me, I write nonfiction writing advice and romantic comedies. Aww. Okay, so let's say hi to some of our friends, and we are going to get right into the sprints today. So, Michelle, you said you're working on a proposal and a ghost project. What are you working on today, Robert? Your Reedsy profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get through that, then lay out some more of those YouTube videos, which are still slowly in the works, but
Very nice.
That's something.
They are. I am like up to my ears in admin today, which I need to sort of knock out. I'm hoping to get that all done in like the first 20 minutes. Not all of it, but at least the stuff that's on fire. And then my hope is to work on a hockey romance for a little while. We'll see whether or not I'm able to do that as well. The other stuff is like nipping at my heels, and I feel like, if you have too much stuff on your to-do list, that it makes it really hard to focus on anything else. So I feel like if I just clear some of that stuff away, then I'll be able to focus on writing. Let's say hello to some of our friends in the chat. Devin wins the award this morning for being first. Yay! We're super glad you're here today. Avi's here. Hello. Happy hump day back to you. I have a crazy thing happening with my hair right here. We're not going to worry about that. I'll just like keep cramming it down into the big hair pile. I have a lot of hair. Lainey's here. Hello, Lainey. We are super glad to see you today. Swinton's here. Hello. Very nice. Susan. Oh, hold on. Susan Monroe McGrath is here. Good morning. Summer break means I get to join. Do you get to join live streams? Yay! That's awesome. We are super glad you are here. And Laz is here. Hello. Very glad to see you. So I have our 5-minute timer all queued up today. I feel more organized than I actually am. But let's go ahead and get that first 5-minute sprint going. And everybody can get their documents open, or whatever you're going to work on today, and get your giant vat of caffeine if that's how you roll in the morning, or yogurt, or whatever else you need to get going. And let's put 5 minutes up on the clock and do our very first sprint. Usually this is just sort of a warm-up sprint, but if you want to write, go right ahead. We are all pulling for you. All right, here we go, everybody, starting in 3, 2, 1. First 5 minutes, make it count. All right. Very nice. How did everybody do on that first 5-minute sprint? Okay.
Starting to get things set up.
All right. Love, love, love that. Very nice. We've got Ashley Emma has joined us. Hello. Very nice. Najo Photography and AI. Hello, first timer here. How often are these writer sprints held? We are here every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Welcome. We are super, super glad that you are here today. Avi, what are you going to be working on today? Working on short story number 5 of my spooky middle grade collection. Love that. That I submitted to Michelle's paid Substack. Ask the editor. Please support her by joining and submitting.
Abby sent the opening pages to her short story for me to critique, and they're so good, and her concept is so great. It's like, I don't know how much she wants me to say about it. Never mind, maybe I should. It's if you liked like R.L. Stine and Fear Street and all of that stuff when you were a kid, then this is like a short story collection you would be very into.
Wow, that is a very nice endorsement. Avi, I would just put that in quotes and use that as a blurb in your book description. You can just play that back later today. I don't know what where the time is 11:22. So look around 11 minutes and you got your first blurb right there. Very nice. Ma says, working on editing, slow, but it's going. Oh, yeah, right. Haven't been to one of your sprints in 3 months. Ashley,
welcome back.
Well, we're very glad that you're back. Very, very glad. You're so welcome. Ashley says, I used to read R.L. Stine in high school all the time. Ooh, love that. Miss Texas G is here. Hello. We are super, super glad to see you today. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. All right, you guys, let us know if you haven't already. Tell us what you're going to be working on today. I think I already said I'm working on Hockey Romance today.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys heard the news because you're not romance writers, but RWA, Romance Writers of America, is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Oh gosh, I did not hear that.
Yeah. So if you don't know why, if you don't know anything about RWA was founded by an African American editor. I don't even know how many years ago. Quite a long time ago. And she founded it because she felt like romance writers were sort of treated poorly and they were not respected. And she was not wrong about that. And she created this incredibly powerful organization, which later had some real diversity issues. They, like, for years, the Ritas, I can't remember what the name was, but like if your name was Jenny, you had like a certain percentage. I don't know, like 70% of the Rita winners there was a Jenny that year, whatever. I mean, it's insane. And I'm probably getting the name wrong, but it was some sort of, Wonder Bread name. I don't want to offend any Jennies. I myself, Lisa and Michelle, we both have that same generic American white lady name. So yeah. In any case, there are some problems. There's some real problems. And when people brought it to their attention, including board members, they basically made excuses, did not make changes, and now they have suffered the consequences. And it's too bad because I think RWA was a really wonderful organization for a long time and that people really needed it. And I'm sad that this has happened, but I also think that reorganizing is not going to help them. Because a different name is not, it's just not, people are going to know. It'd be better, I think, to just start a new romance organization from scratch. And I'm sure that a lot of other people have already sort of jumped on the ball with that. Courtney Milan should be first in line, I think, because she brought a lot of that stuff forward and, has a pretty big platform. And so she, really made sure that those issues were front and center. It makes me really sad, though, that an organization that was started by a brilliant African-American editor and was so sorely needed that that ultimately that organization went on to sort of ignore or went on to ignore or and treat poorly its African American authors and other authors of color. It's not just African American authors.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just really, I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised when it happened. So, but I don't think like I was a member of RWA for years. I haven't been since all this stuff, since all this stuff happened. But I don't think that I wanted to come back. I don't know.
Huh.
Does anybody else have a thought on this?
No, I'm just interested to follow it and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Very similar thing happened to, and I think this is just a good lesson for organizations, is that when you have a large group of your, not even large group, if you have a group of your members that are saying, hey, this group is not being treated fairly, or this is not okay, you should pay attention and not just dismiss that.
Right.
One of the problems for the Mystery Writers of America was that there was a particularly lecherous male mystery writer who had harassed and reportedly assaulted a female mystery writer at, I think it was Boucher Khan. And when she brought it forward to the board, they basically ignored it and didn't, right. And it ended up almost wiped out pretty much their entire board. And that was really the only way that they could save the organization, was to just get rid of everybody. But right. But then here, RWA, it's a different issue, but it's a similar situation. And then they do the exact, like they have the lesson of Mystery Writers of America, and they screwed it up. So it is hard to run a large organization, but that kind of stuff, if you hear that, you see the data and you go, you know what, you're right. We've been screwing this up. We've got to fix this.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right, guys.
Look at the NaNoWriMo stuff and all the work they're having to do on the back end because they didn't keep up with things. And I think that's the problem with automation. You get used to having these things being taken care of by the system, or underlings that maybe aren't paying attention, or trouble pops up and they think, oh, it'll just disappear. But if it persists, you need to really
well, here's the thing. Even if there isn't a large group of people who are pitching a fit about something, if it's an issue, a human issue that impacts your membership, like sexual assault at your at your events, especially if there's a particular member of the group that has been repeatedly, and that was the problem, is that this was not it's a problem. Even a one-time offense is a problem.
Sure, but if it was,
but it was not a one-time offense, right? And and you hear those, or you hear someone say, hey, we noticed that 98% of your award winners are white ladies, and these are straight white books. That you go, hey, we should take a look at this, and oh my God, you're right, and we need to figure out how to solve this issue. You don't go, oh well, it's fine, it's no big deal, we're looking here, like you solve it. So anyway. All right, on that exciting and helpful note, let's go ahead. But if you are a member of a writers group, of a writers organization, and I certainly have been over the years, you got to pay attention to this stuff. You can't let it go. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead with our first 20-minute sprint. Yay. All right, here we go. We got 20 minutes on the clock. I'm super excited to get writing today.
Yeah.
So not all this admin stuff. I hope you guys are excited as well. Let's get rolling. Our first sprint is starting in 3, 2, 1. You've got this. All right. Sorry, I just like did it right up to the minute there. So hold on 1 second. Like it. Michelle's muted. Oh, there you go. Okay, fantastic.
Got it.
So how did everybody? I did great. How did everybody else do in this last sprint?
Not bad.
Awesome.
Working on my profile.
Nice.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Um, so let's see. Swinton says, I'm outlining my next series, Cozy Mysteries, featuring a 70-year-old married couple, amateur sleuths. They first
Oh,
made an appearance in my first series. Readers love them. I love
that's
this
adorable.
idea. I love this idea. It has like all of the appeal of like a murder she wrote kind of a,
Mhm.
you know
Or
what I
how,
mean?
there's a series. Oh gosh, I can't think of the author's name, but I think it's called the Thursday Murder Club, and it's about a group of septuagenarians at a nursing home who solve murders together.
I love this. I love that, which just sort of feels like a little bit of a take on um, Only Murders in the Building. Like that's sort of
Yeah.
a similar. Yeah. I love this idea, Swinton. Love, 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 love. Doll is here. Hello, Doll. We are super glad to see you. Very glad you could catch today's stream or scream. Also, Coffee Create Connect. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hoping once the caffeine kicks in, I feel that a little more. I will find my flow. Trying to wrap up first round revisions. I feel that. I have just a stack of work that is like up to the moon this week.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like just power through, but you know how it is. Like you go, okay, if I can get it down a little, then I'll feel great. But right now, I just feel a little overwhelmed. Back at my usual desk today. Glad to hear it. Maz says Richard Osman must be
The
the
author.
author.
Yeah.
Yeah, love, love, love that.
Oh no. Well, it is really good, Robert. I think you would enjoy it. I think I read the first book. It's been a while, but I believe there's like 3, maybe even 4 out in that series now, and it's absolutely delightful.
Yeah, I don't
What?
think it's stuff that ever gets old because it's all derived from Agatha Christie, which just continues
Exactly.
on decade after decade. So
Yep.
Very nice. Thanks for covering while I disappeared. I all of a sudden everything just went dark. I'm like, what is happening? Avi says the short story collection is the 13-year-olds with the 13 magical items in the spooky cottage that links them all. Story number 5 is about a prankster who finally meets his supernatural match. I love it. I love it. Love, 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 love. Ma says, I think 3. I bought them for my mom. Oh, I love that. That is so fantastic. Love, love, love that. Awesome. Who's ready for more writing sprints? I know I am for sure. Let us know, you guys, if you have any questions in the chat today. I think I probably have. Last week was like such a chaotic disaster that I don't. I'll have to dig up and find my questions that we had from the post from last week. Yeah, right. That would be super helpful. Unless you guys want to dig me out of the hole today and just ask questions in the chat, and then I'll be, oh, I didn't have time to get to my other questions. Feel free to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to our sprints. Let me just pop our little timer up here on the screen for us. There we go. I kept hearing this noise, and it's because after our beautiful oceany wave sprint, it almost always comes up somebody's fireplace timer, and it always freaks me out. Like because it'll just run, and then I'll forget it's there, and then I'm like, why does it sound like something's on fire? Do I smell smoke? This isn't good. Okay, so writer imagination gone wild. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get started with our second sprint of the day. Here we go. We're going to get started in 3. You've got this. Make those words happen. 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. how did everybody do on that last sprint?
Good.
Very good.
Great, glad to hear it. So let me just get this little banner out of the way here. So we had a good question or series of questions that came in from Coffee Create Connect. And I'm just going to run through them. She started off with your favorite book is your favorite because, but then answered, can't pick a favorite because one of my favorites is on the list because the character is super relatable. We get to see her in awkward moments. We get to see some things work out and others not. Etc. Not usually a fan of perfect characters, aka Mary Sue's. I like to see if her conflicting feelings about different things. So here's the question. Sorry, I went through all the messages. Was thinking about sending a copy of my book out to some different people in my town as we've been having a discussion about nursing homes, aging, etc. And the book centers around an 80-year-old widow. We see her current day life, but we also get to go back and see where everything fell apart in her life when she was 14 and her father died, followed by others until she finally had outlived everyone she loved and was left all alone.
Yeah.
My concern is copyright issues. I don't know these people personally, but I would really love to pass on the book. I just don't want to put 2 years into something for someone else to take it. So first, it's not generally considered to be a good idea to to send your work to the copyright office and officially have it copyrighted before it is completed. Because later when you do complete it, it can cause some conflicts and trouble. That said, as soon as you're writing that book down, it is copyrighted. You just don't have the legal protection of a copyright yet. Are you planning on sending the entire manuscript, or are you planning on just sending sections to the people? Because if it's sections, I wouldn't worry about it. I would make sure that at the bottom of every page that you have, in the footnotes, the little copyright symbol and the year, so that, just to be clear to anybody who might be up to any malarkey, that that's not going to fly. But generally that's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. We all, especially first time authors, often worry about that. And, but it's just generally not a problem. When people steal, they steal from Nora Roberts and right. And bigger authors. Yeah. So anyway, but generally speaking, it's not something that you really have to give a lot of concern to. However, if you're sending out the full book, I can definitely see putting the little copyright symbol in the bottom and and all of that. So hope that helps. Anybody else have anything they want to weigh in on that before I
No,
go
I
to the
that was it.
That's pretty good.
that covered it. Okay. Ashley Emma says my favorite book is Just Ella because she gets to the ball all on her own. You go, girl. Then realizes the prince is a vain fool, so she runs off with their tutor to start a shelter for war refugees. Love that. It sort of reminds me a little bit of do you guys ever read the children's book, The Paper Bag Princess? Essentially, so she essentially rescues herself from the dragon, and is it Ronald? I think her fiance, the prince, is Ronald, and rescues Ronald as well. And he doesn't like princesses who are all dirty and smudged, and she's like basically tells him to go screw himself in the nicest storybook way possible. But everybody's like, yes, it's a great little story. About being empowered and knowing who you are and not taking any crap from the people you date. Excellent lesson early on. Here we go. Ashley says it's by Margaret Peterson Haddix, Just Ella.
Nice.
Love that. Love that. I don't know what my favorite book is. I have so many favorites.
Oh yeah, I can't pick a favorite.
And for years I would say, oh, go ahead.
No,
What are
you.
say? Oh, I was going to say for you. Okay, you.
No. Okay, I'm reading right now called How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying. And it is hilarious, and I'm not done with it yet, but I would definitely recommend it. It's very funny. Like a young woman has been caught in a time loop. She's from our world, but she's been caught in a time loop in like a Dungeons and Dragons type world, and she's over and over and over again tried to save the people from the Dark Lord and died, and then resets. And now she's like, "F it, I'm gonna be the Dark Lord." Book. It's very funny.
I love that. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Avi says a prince named Ronald. Oof, she dodged a bullet rescuing herself. So true. So true. Love, love, love that. Margaret Peterson Haddix also wrote the Shadow Children series, which is also incredible. Love,
Nice.
love, love that. That book sounds incredible. Um, I'm trying to think of what. Oh, I did love this one recently, which I think I'm going to cover on my podcast. "Till Heist Do Us Part" by Sarah Desai, which is the second book in a series. It's sort of still romance, still a little steamy, but mystery romance. It's kind of fun. And yeah, but I would say, like, for years, I would always say Pride and Prejudice, but I feel like that's the answer that every romance author gives. The reason I loved it was because Lizzie Bennet is empowered, because Jane Austen is hilarious in her social commentary, and it was just witty and funny all the way through. I just really love it for that. But I have a million other books that I love. You know what's weird? One of my sort of weird go-to books that I go back to probably like once a year was a book called Bestseller by Olivia Goldsmith, which is a book that was popular like I think she died in like 1990. It was a book that's a very sort of 80s book, and she was like the Jackie Suzanne of her day, kind of, Olivia Goldsmith. And I think she died having plastic surgery, actually, now that I think about it, which was sort of a fitting end for her, because she did very much write that sort of 80s glamorous. But Bestseller is about 5 different authors having their books all published at the same time, and kind of how the publishing experience is for the sort of aging bestseller. I can't remember what her name is. Anyway, like the person who's been around for a million years and has sold year after year, but her sales are slipping, and it's just a really fascinating sort of look at publishing. And for me, I think the reason that I loved it so much when I was younger was that it was sort of aspirational, this kind of behind the scenes look of New York publishing, and but I still love it, and I don't know why. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't know why I still love it, but I really do. So, all right. How about you? What about your most embarrassing book that you love? So you can say your favorite or your most embarrassing book that you love. Robert, how about you? Favorite book or most embarrassing book?
I have too many favorites. I mean, obviously, the Sherlock Holmes canon is something I've been reading lately, so I've been stuck in that. But I took a little break, and I kind of got back to reading some comics, which I haven't done in a while, and got myself involved in a similar discussion to what you're talking about. But I guess from a man's point of view, trying to write a woman from the 1940s. And I think the point is that not treated well. And even though the hero at the end is a woman, the press doesn't even acknowledge her. They give credit to this other guy whose picture is in the newspaper, and everybody's like, oh, the women are treated like crap. And it's like, I kind of think that's his intention. But as you said, Jane Austen shows that women definitely had more brains than they were given credit for. And
of course,
it's a hard story to write from a man's point of view, especially in a limited medium like a comic book where you just have a script and so many pages to work on.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, generally when women are treated poorly, we don't like it. So that's always a good place to start. Love, love, love this.
Good question.
It is a great question. Just Ella is also pretty funny. She's very sarcastic and witty. I'm gonna have to pick up this book. I love this. There was Ashley says there was actually a scandal where the movie The Village was accused of stealing the plot of her book running out of time. I'm not sure what happened with that in the end.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. There's there was a scandal with what was it? The Dan Brown guy, right? Who wrote all of those Yeah. So yeah, there was like an author or a couple authors, I think, who had said like, "Hey, he basically like ripped off my whole book."
Oh my god, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't know. There's like you have that sort of like maybe that he did, and that's really crappy. Um, and you also have like the situation that happens like if a book or a series becomes really, really popular, that is when people come out of the woodwork and they go, "Oh, well, it's sort of like my idea, and why didn't
Mm.
I make $1 billion?" So challenging either way. Susan Monroe McGrath says, I love everything Emily Henry. I am so with you on that. She's so good at writing real people and making tropes seem believable. Absolutely. Completely agree. She was the one, Beach Read was the book that sort of got me out of my pandemic funk. It was like the
Oh,
first, it was really yeah, like I read it. It was kind of funny because I got the NetGalley of the book and I literally started reading it on my phone outside by my pool. I read the entire book on my phone, which I never do, but I was so into it I could not put it down, and I have loved everything after that. Another one of my favorites is actually by my client, Dead Again, which is about a girl who relives her past lives in her dreams. She was a gladiator. Joan of Arc was in a concert. Ooh,
wow.
that's fascinating. Love that. I was planning on sending the whole thing, but perhaps I should only send a portion of it. If you're worried about it, I would just send part of it because then you have less of a risk of what you're worried about. Avi doesn't have a favorite book because I haven't written it yet. Love that. Dacia. I was looking at Flavia and Daisy at the same time. You're now Dacia. Hope just for today. Flavia De Luce is my favorite mystery detective, 12-year-old genius chemist. Ooh, I love that. Adult book set in the 50s. Ooh, love that. I will say the plots are almost the same. I am a big fan of the book and the movie The Village, though. Love that. That is my worst nightmare. Someone walks up to me and says, "You stole my idea." Trauma inducing. Yeah, the thing is, let me just say this. You've heard this before. There are no new ideas. The only thing that's new is the way that you tell them. There it's impossible at this point in time to come up with a completely wholly original plot.
Hmm.
There's we all stand on the shoulders of the writers who came before us, and it's not possible it's just not possible to tell a completely original story that's original. It's just not. But it is very possible to tell the same story in a really original way. And so that is something that sort of guards, that protects you against someone stealing your idea, is that you're going to do it or you stealing their idea, is that you're going to do it in a completely different way. I mean, I think about one of the things that's really popular in romance right now is fairy tale retellings, right? Smuttier versions of Beauty and the Beast or Snow White or any Cinderella. In fact, well, the book we were talking about earlier, right?
Hmm.
uh, is a Cinderella retelling, Just Stella. And those books are all sort of based on those kind of original fairy tales, but every one of them is different. They all use that Cinderella story and tell it in their own way.
Yeah. And again, getting back to this recent discussion I had, there's people saying, "Oh, was that story based on this, or did that come before this story?" And I had the same thing that you just said. There's no original ideas, and I can go back before that and tell you a story that's very much like this. So what do
Uh-huh.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything has a shelf life, and nobody really looks back to see where things originated from, and it's
Yeah.
possible.
I
So
cannot believe we have not had this discussion yet, but we have got to talk about what the CEO of Spotify said. I think it was yesterday about basically how it's no big deal to create content. Creating content's cheap. It's easy.
which led
Duh.
me to the whole thought of how important is it for authors to get an LLC these days, because so much stuff is being filtered around and so many scam ideas out there.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. It's not easy to create content. The fact that there's a lot of it and Spotify made $1 billion in the first quarter of 2024 does not mean that all of the songs and audiobooks on their platform are not valuable and that they did not take hundreds or thousands of hours to create, and time and skill and energy and love and a million other things. Anytime someone devalues the work of creatives, it makes me insane. So, and I think a lot of musicians spoke out yesterday, but this is something that also impacts authors because Spotify sells audiobooks now, so or
Yep.
streams audiobooks now. So, yeah. Obvious says retellings are its own genre. After all, true. Miss Texas G, have many favorite books. However, one of my favorites is a book I used to read to my kids when they were little, The Real True Story of the Three Little Pigs. I love that. I love that. That is true. I think sometimes things happen in the world, or there's a show that a bunch of people love at the same time that sort of sparks a number of people to have kind of the same ideas. That used to happen to me when I worked in advertising. You would like be working on an ad which you knew was completely original, right? An idea that was completely original. And then just as your stuff's about to come out, somebody else has done it. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or they just won an award for it. You haven't seen it yet. Like there is something to that. I've seen it happen enough where, where you just can't, like, for the most part, you just cannot worry about that stuff. I had, in the plot of 15 Minutes of Shame, one of the sort of main plot points is that this woman is like a stepmother to these two children, and she's essentially been their primary caregiver since they were really little, and she feels very attached to them. But in the divorce, step parents have almost no rights. And so, which, and that like is a great sort of topic to talk about, right? That they have almost no rights, and should they or should they not? And then I had gone to a writing event, like a conference, and somebody else was writing a book, or had just written a book, about how a woman and a man got divorced and she didn't want to give up her in-laws, and which is kind of similar, but it felt really different to me. But my assistant at the time was like, "Oh my God, she totally copied your idea." And I was like, it's pretty different. And B, it happens all the time. Even if she wanted to tell the exact same story from my plot points, it would be completely different as long as she wasn't like directly copy and pasting my work. Very, very nice. Oh, Ashley, I wrote an Amish series of fairy tales with Amish characters. I love that. That's fantastic. Stealing someone else's ideas is a rite of passage in advertising. True. Absolutely true. Love that. I mean, I would be surprised to find a story about an 80-year-old widow and a young single mom coming together to ultimately change the lives of thousands of people, but it could certainly be out there. You know what I thought of? Yoda and Luke Skywalker when I came, again, not quite the same, but yeah. Love that. Love that. If you get wrapped up in worrying about people stealing your content, you will ultimately not enjoy creating it. That's true. And it's pretty, I shouldn't say it's super rare. It's more common for AI to steal your work, I think, at this point. Yeah. But yeah, it's not been certainly there are sites once the book is published, but before publication, it's less common than you might think. Anybody else have anything before we hop on to our next sprint?
No, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we go. Oh, I should get rid of that banner, huh? Okay, here we go, everybody. We're going to start our last 20-minute sprint. Make this one count. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, sprint. right. How did everybody do on that last sprint? Let us know in the chat. I get rid of that banner there. How about you guys? Robert, how'd you do on the last one?
It was good. It was my best one yet. I think I'm almost finishing this profile up.
Hey.
Yay! I know sometimes you just like need to like sit and get all that stuff done.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. How about you, Michelle? How'd you do on the last one?
Good. I turned synopsis into my editor, and now I'm on to the ghostwriting thing.
Yay! Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So let's see what we've got. We've got some fun folks in the chat today. Paget's here. Hello. Paget's editing today. Very tired. I feel ya. Kara says one of my earliest influences was an illustrated book of Christina Rossetti's story poem, The Goblin Market. That's a great title. It inspired me to love dark stories with a strong friendship component. Love that. That's so nice. Miss Texas G, I just remembered another great book that I read to my kids, but like Bullwinkle and Bugs Bunny was really meant for adults. It was called Politically Correct Bedtime Stories by James Finn Garner. Love that. Love that. One of my favorite children's books about human rights is Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type, which is another children. The cows are cold out in the barn, and they would like warm blankets, and somebody's left an old typewriter in the barn, and so the cows send out these messages to Farmer Fred and say that if he does not provide electric blankets for the cold nights, they're going to go on strike. And that's one of my favorite kids books of all times.
Adorable.
Love that. I know my kids literally thought Barnes and Noble was the library when they were little because we were there every week and they always got books. Yeah. So anyway, love that. Love that. Doll says taking a day off after a super productive day of 5 audio recordings for YouTube. Healthiest choices to rest today. Good for you. Hilarious book. She had a visage that could make time stop. Love that. Lainey says, thanks for the great session. I got so much done. I got to hear baby coos and puppy bark. That's true. Can you guys hear the little one back there?
Yeah.
That's funny. The horror geek's playing with him in the next room. So he was howling earlier, so I wasn't sure. He got up a little earlier from his nap than he should have. Very nice. Congrats, Doll, on 5 audio recordings for YouTube. That is pretty amazing. Very nice. Hoping to finish it by 3 so I can do some pleasure reading. Love that. Thanks so much, you guys. You are awesome. Good work. Look at you guys every single day. So I did have one question that somebody had asked last week, or asked before last week that I meant to cover last week. And they had asked about using your ISBN numbers when you are independently publishing and how what happens is, let's say you register an ISBN number for a book that you want to publish. You register the trade paperback ISBN number. And normally in a normal situation, you would have one ISBN number for a paperback across all the different retailers. But what happens is that if you put that ISBN number into, say, Amazon, then later Barnes & Noble won't let you use it, or Ingram Spark won't let you use it. And it's frustrating and unfortunate because you end up buying, a couple of different ISBN numbers. The best way to counteract that is to have 2 windows open. Here's the answer to the question. What do I do about that? It's not possible unless you do all of your distribution through something like Ingram Spark to every platform, including Amazon. It's not possible, as far as I know, to have your same ISBN number, but you can get it at least across your 2 major platforms. If you do Ingram Spark, which distributes to most bookstores, and Amazon, if you have those 2 windows open at the same time and you literally don't hit go until you've got the ISBN number entered in both, and then you hit go like that, then you can usually manage to use the same ISBN number. I hope that was not a confusing explanation.
No, that was excellent.
2 windows open at the same time, Ingram Spark, Amazon, and you'll just have to leave, like, I think Apple will let you use one. Like, they're not so wonky about that. I think Apple will let you use an ebook one. that's already been registered with like Ingram, but Barnes and Noble will absolutely not. Draft 2 Digital will definitely not. So yeah, there's our answer for the day. Well, I feel like, does anybody else have a question before we go, or we could just wrap up a couple minutes early? Cold cows that type and thread to go on strike. Yes, it's adorable. It's a really great, but like the illustrations are spectacular. The writing is fantastic. They also did a book called Duck for President about the same duck that's in the Click Clack Moo Cows that type. The same duck decides that he does that being on a farm is really, that's very hard work, and he would like to run the farm, and then eventually he runs for president, and it's kind of hilarious. Great. I think that Click Clack Moo was a Newbery winner. If you have children, it's a phenomenal book. Anybody else have a question that they wanted to cover before we head out today? Otherwise, we are. Oh, here we go. Important question. Where is RV Michelle today?
That is a really good question. Hang on, I have to think about it. Oh yeah, I'm in Olympia. Olympia.
Very nice. I feel like something happened. But Olympia is known for something. Do you know what it is?
It's the capital.
Well, yes, there's that. I feel like there's some like big attraction in Olympia, aside from being the capital.
We just got here. We spent last week in Portland and got here, and it has been pouring rain for 3 days in a row. Today is the first day it's not, so we haven't done much exploring. But I will let you know.
Okay. Well, you're like, we saw it. The world's largest vat of yogurt right here in Olympia, Washington, or somewhere nearby. Anyway, all right, you guys. Well, let's go ahead and do our outros while we are here. I'm going to start with Michelle this time.
All right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write middle grade and young adult novels. And my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much for being here, as always. Robert, tell us a little about your awesome channel and about you before we go.
My channel is The Story Detective, where I take various forms of storytelling and put it under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft for the viewer. And new videos being slowly worked upon.
You know, slow progress is still progress. So there's that. Thanks, everybody. I'm Lisa Daly. I write hockey romance, contemporary romantic comedy, and nonfiction writing advice. And if you want to write a book you are super proud of and get it published, this is a good channel to start with. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here today. Avi, thanks for the extra plug for Michelle's Substack. It's a good one. Be sure to plug it. Oh, here's a good thing. Do you have a link? We'll drop it in right before we go.
Yes, I will grab it real quick. Blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah. We'll drop it in the chat for you guys. If I forgot.
I swear to God, I'm getting it.
Yay!
Oh, so long. I apologize.
That's okay.
There. Jesus. Okay, I hit enter. There it goes.
Yay! All right, very nice. Very, very nice. There it is. Michelle. Oh, that's an easy one to remember, right? michelleschusterman.substack.com. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here today. You are awesome. I hope you got a lot done. We will see you next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and we will do it all again. All right. Have a great week, everybody, and happy writing.
Keep those things liking until next time.